Yum, 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 yum.
Welcome to Jack's Restaurant at the Capitol Hotel in St. John's. Jack's is a beautiful, traditional-style restaurant with many traditional food items on the menu. Newfoundland cod cakes, fish and brews, and so on, and lots of Newfoundland traditional art by many of our well-known Newfoundland artists. Hello, I'm Karl Wells, food critic for The Telegraph.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Dairies.
And Steve, we've got a very interesting guy on the show today.
Pete Soucy, comedian, well known by the name of Snook.
Right on.
Pretty good, pretty good.
He's going to be with us, and he's a very interesting guy. He's not only an actor, writer, director.
He's a runner, I believe.
Yeah. He's a runner, and he's going to be talking to us about some road races that he's organized.
Maybe we should be on one.
Well, we may need to before this is over. Anyway, we're going to be running off to Coleman's as well today, and Kathy Mackey of Credited Debt Solutions is with us, and she's going to be showing us how to shop economically.
And healthy as well.
Yes, that's always important. You've got to be economic, but you've got to buy healthy food as well.
Yeah.
And that's a good topic in this current era we're living in.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we've got healthy and fantastic looking food in front of us. I have a beautiful grilled tiger prawn here on a bed of lettuce with some crispy wontons, some cashew nuts, and it's all dressed in a natural soy sauce.
And Carl, I have a wonderful fresh poached pear with some blue cheese and rolled prosciutto ham with mâché lettuce as well.
Well, let's get our engines started, Stephen.
And dig in.
Yeah,
Ready for that run?
we'll get running, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do.
If you make a reservation in a restaurant and for some reason you can't keep the reservation, then I think you should call the restaurant and let them know.
I couldn't agree more, Carl, because I always had food prepared.
Yeah. And our guest in the One Chef One Critic kitchen today is an actor. He's a director, writer, impresario, creator of one of the best loved comedic characters to hit the entertainment scene in Newfoundland and Labrador. He is Snook himself, Mr. Pete Soucy.
Thank you.
Welcome to One Chef, One Critic.
Come right in, come right in.
Come right in. Yes. Now, a little bird told me you liked halibut.
I do indeed. It's my favorite fish.
Well, there you go.
We
We've got halibut there that I think Steve paid probably a couple of $100 for.
Anyway, we've got a beautiful dish for you today, Pete. What I'm going to be making is a Cajun halibut. We're going to be making the Cajun spice from scratch, and we're also going to be making a corn salsa to go underneath it.
Whatever that is, fantastic.
So let's get started.
My
then,
gosh,
perhaps.
Steve, you're getting really adventurous today.
Yes, it's not coming out of a package.
You've even got two different types of paprika there.
Yeah, one's cayenne, one's paprika.
Oh,
So
great.
anyway,
Oh, sorry.
You're mixing two of my favorite things. I love Cajun and I love halibut. So.
Oh, perfect.
Well, cayenne is paprika with red pepper in it. or
Yeah,
hot
okay,
pepper.
all right, Carl. Here we go again. Here we go.
They look identical.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just pull that into the centre there. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of oregano into our bowl, a little bit of thyme, like so, a little bit of paprika.
Well, this show's easy.
He says oregano, I say oregano.
Oregano. Yeah. Here he goes again. He never leaves me alone. And some cayenne pepper there. I'm also going to be putting some fennel in, and that smells like licorice. You can just smell that.
It does.
Beautiful, doesn't it? Now, you're going to use Carl's Mortison pedal, and I'm going to crush it up just a little bit, because we don't want no seeds in there completely, so we want to really...
That'll really drive out the aromatic in that.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you do if you don't have one of these?
Well, if you've got a coffee grinder, you can put it into that, so...
Okay. Does the coffee ever taste the same?
That particular flavor, though, that licorice flavor and seafood goes together really well. You see it a lot in a lot of different seafood recipes, actually.
Yeah.
I have to confess, I've never used fennel.
So this would probably be a little bit too exotic for Snook.
Absolutely. This is way out the window.
So have you ever been on a cooking show before?
Never.
You ever thought about having your own cooking show?
Yes, there was some talk some years ago about Snook and the Cook.
Snook in the Cook?
Yeah, which would be easy for me or easy for Snook because all he'd have to do is just hang around and shake stuff up and laugh and make fun of the chef. And we have to get a chef that can really get upset. That would be important.
Not like me. I never get upset, do I, Karl?
No?
Not on camera.
Well, you could act upset. Which would work just as well.
Just,
Very good.
just stay away from him when he's got his knives handy.
Yeah.
When did you create Snook? How long ago was that?
We're talking 20 years, Carl.
Wow.
I've got 20 years out of it. I thought it was going to last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
20 years later. Yeah.
Isn't that funny though?
I was 29,
Yeah.
so I'm in my 20s, 30s, 40s now. I'm almost 50.
Yeah.
I'll be 49 in about a month's time.
Wow.
So it's turned out to be a career.
That is absolutely incredible.
I know. It's sad.
Yeah.
But like I tell people, it beats working.
But did the character start out as a TV character or as a stage character? Or
Stage character. I developed a character for a play down at the LSPU Hall,
Yeah.
and right away it seemed to take off with people, and I got calls to appear like at public events. To do a little bit of after dinner speaking.
Sure.
And I wrote some material and changed a few things and came up with a name and way to go. And it's kept me going for about 20 years, almost entirely on its own. So
Wow.
So that's starting to ripple now, the oil. So
okay, what does that mean?
it's starting to get nice and warm then, you see. So you can see the heat's going through the pan. And we've got it on a pretty high heat. Maybe we'll just touch it up a touch more.
Okay.
And this is not going to take too long, like you say. We don't want to cook the halibut all the way through.
No, that's what I find. People usually cook not only halibut, but most fish a little too much.
A little overcooked,
and it gets dry. So you're going to let me know.
When
You could write a restaurant review. You sound just like me. Don't overcook the fish. That's the most common complaint I have about restaurants.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't. I mean, you could almost eat fish raw. I have had fish raw. I've had scallops. And stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's fantastic. So.
Scallops even look cooked when you buy them. Sure.
Well, they taste the same too.
Yeah, yeah, very little difference.
I have them right out of the shell.
Yeah. Oh my
It
God.
may have been moving.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks pretty good. Smells good too.
And it's going to colour very, very quickly. And I think maybe just a couple of minutes on each side, actually.
Yeah.
You don't have a mirror on the ceiling for taking those clever shots straight down?
No,
to the
we
thing?
have a cameraman who's got a very stiff neck who leans over with his camera. And
Yeah. So the only thing you looked at on his resume was tall.
yeah, that's right.
Very good. I was going to ask you, how long have you been into food and doing the
All my life.
reviewing? When did you start that?
Well, no, I didn't start reviewing when I was 10, but
Takes a brave man.
I started cooking when I was about 10 years old with
Yeah?
my grandmother. Yeah, we used to bake apple pies together.
Okay.
My dad was a cook.
Just do your thing. Just move it around a little bit if you
Looking
wish.
busy here, like you do, right? I've seen cooking shows.
So while that's cooking, Peter, what I'm going to do is just make a corn salsa. I've got some beautiful corn niblets here. These actually were frozen ones. So I'll do that. I'm going to add some red pepper.
Frozen, I'm out of here.
Oh, no. Fresh frozen. Fresh frozen.
And we're going to add some diced red tomatoes into our
You've been busy
salsa.
earlier today.
Very, very busy. I was going to get Karl to help me, but he won't help. He won't help in these things,
No, that's because I've got to say all of this wonderful food was provided by the good folks at Coleman's of Mount Pearl.
God love them.
And
Yes,
I'm also
God
going to add some jalapeno peppers into there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Just to
thinking
start.
we're getting up almost to a couple of minutes here. What do you think?
I think we should maybe just have a look and flip one over.
And have a glance like that.
Yeah,
How's that
see,
look?
perfect. Now we can go over. Yeah.
All right. Now, somebody's paying attention over here.
Yeah.
Well, just
put your finger on it.
Put your finger on it.
That's
Okay.
what I do.
There you go. Oh my goodness, look
Oh,
how
that's
black
nice,
come
yeah.
through now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Pete, you're in the middle of a comedy tour right now.
That's right.
Who's on tour with you?
We just finished last night. John Sheen
Yeah.
from Harbour Grace. He was a huge hit at our comedy festival last summer.
Yeah.
The St. John's Comedy Festival. He's been doing extremely well ever since. And Trent McClellan, who's originally from Corner Brook, he's been living in Calgary for a little while, but he's been very successful on the Yuck Yucks tours and that sort of thing. He's a big, tall black fellow from Corner Brook. He has this joke where he says, there's not too many black people in Newfoundland. He said they have a name for him in Newfoundland, Trent. He's a great fella, great time,
Yeah.
I'll say.
So how
Wow.
how does somebody become a stand-up comedian? Like, how does do you just sort of decide one day, you know, I think I'd like to be a stand-up comedian. I think I could do that.
Boy, I fluked into it. You know, stand-up is very, very recent in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
We have a storytelling tradition and a sketch comedy tradition going
Yeah.
way back to, I guess, Codco.
Yeah.
But the first stand-up comedian really to come out of Newfoundland is Sean Majumder. He's the
yeah.
guy that started off doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Everybody else has sort of come to it as a sideline.
That's right,
and
yeah.
made it part of their
Yeah.
their toolbox, more or less, right? And what I do is, people call it, I guess it's a branch of stand-up. It's character stand-up. Now they say that's completely different, but in my mind, it's more like a matter of degree rather than kind, because I think that essentially anybody who goes on stage, even if they're presenting as themselves, are essentially putting something on. They're not exactly, you know, as they are in real life. So it's a little different, but seems to work for me.
I was fortunate enough to see a guy who I consider to be one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time, George Carlin, when he was here.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. But I was amazed when I saw his show because he actually told the audience that what they were seeing was an HBO special that he was working on. But it was all scripted.
Sure. Oh,
And
yeah. it is.
every single word that came out of his mouth was written down, but it was delivered as if, you know, it was straight off the top of his head.
That's the magic.
Yeah.
So that's just about ready there now.
Yeah.
I've put in some tomatoes, some red onions. I'm going to pick some picked cilantro in there as well.
Beautiful.
And I'm also going to be putting in some lime juice. And then we're going to toss that and just let that marinate for about half an hour. And we'll just retain the heat into the halibut.
I'll just lick down my arms here.
Yeah, you got a little bit of
Finishing
juice
with the
there.
lime. I saw
Sorry about that.
a Chris Rock special where they keep switching from venue to venue, so his costume changes, but they cut right in the middle of a sentence. So every performance was exactly the same,
Yeah, that's
but
right,
it looks
yeah.
like he was making it up
Yeah,
as he was
yeah.
going along. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Well, then,
do you
I
ever
think
get-
that halibut is ready. I'm
we
just
turn
going to
this
get you to turn it off, and then we can
Okay.
just take
Is that
each
off,
and-
Carl?
No,
The right one? No.
this
Sorry.
one here is
Okay.
off.
Don't ask Cal, he doesn't know. It's his stove.
Okay,
This is his house, you know.
I know, I was going to say,
I know.
it's beautiful. It's going
I
to be
know
really nice when you
how
get it
to
finished.
operate the stove, Stephen.
I don't know about the spatula, Carl. I'm going to give you one for Christmas.
It's a bit limp,
It's
isn't
a
it?
little flaccid, yes. Limp.
It's a bit what?
Limp is a good word. Holy God. Look at that.
There we go.
Wow.
Then we're gonna
I think I've done a fantastic job.
I think you did
Excellent
actually,
job,
yeah.
you know, and all in 9 minutes.
And it's very simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, lovely.
And I say, I've got the fresh halibut from Coleman's. It just so happened that they had some, and I knew that was your speciality, or something that you liked.
Terrific,
and,
yeah. It looks
Steve,
beautiful.
did you know that Pete is a runner?
A runner.
He's a runner.
Maybe we should join him.
Well, I probably should. Yeah, yeah.
Never hurt you.
How long have you been running?
Just really about 5 years now. I took it up. I read somewhere that if you want to change your life, get out in the morning before you do anything and just spend half an hour, 45 minutes doing whatever
Steve spends
exercise
half
you
an
want.
hour in his hot tub.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, that might work
There's
too.
an image for you, folks.
Thanks, Carl. So did you run the Tele 10?
Tele 10 was like the first sort of goal. I did it a few times back in the 90s, but I really took it up again about 5 years ago. And I just started off just trying to have some fun, getting in shape in my tennis shoes and my gym shorts. And it's quickly progressed to where I did the Tele 10, and then I did like a half marathon, and then I eventually went and did a marathon and went to the Boston Marathon. I've done that twice now.
Oh, really?
So I've done 6 marathons, and I'm looking forward to my 7th in October up in Labrador.
I think you've discovered the fountain of youth because for a guy who's pushing 50, you don't look a day
Sorry,
over
Pete.
you don't look a day over 39.
Thank you very much,
You're
Carl.
welcome.
You too are.
And I don't mete out
wonderful,
those
my friend.
compliments easily.
No? No? You're a Grinch when it comes to the compliments?
Anyway,
I actually am a grandfather.
Oh my
in a sense.
God! Congratulations!
4 months ago.
Since when?
Well,
Well,
4 months,
wow.
and it's come about on a very strange way
good
because
for you.
it was a long lost daughter who found us about a year ago, and
Oh my God!
4 months ago she had a little baby girl. So
That's a
Poppy
story.
Pete.
That's a story in itself.
I know, it's a long
Listen,
story.
I'm going to go down to the cellar
All right.
and figure out what wine. Well, there's somebody who will help me figure out what wine to serve with this amazing halibut. I'll be back.
Lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put a
That
leash on.
Carl, you don't know what he's going to get up to.
Hello, Carl. How are you?
We have Pete Soucy, a.k.a.
Hold on a second. Sorry. I don't know this number. Hello? It's a collect call from the pen. Sure, I'll accept. Hello? You know, Dougie? No, I'm sorry. Hello? Can you
Dougie?
understand this person? I don't understand what he's saying.
Dougie? Who's he asking for?
I don't know. He's asking for Pete or Snooky or, I don't know. I don't understand it.
So I thought Dougie was fictional. Hello? Yeah, it's Karl Wells. Oh, I beg your pardon, I don't even know you. Here,
I'll just hang up. I don't know these people.
turn it off.
All right,
Anyway,
sorry.
yeah. So we have Pete Soucy, and we've got halibut upstairs. It's
Nice.
an amazing, beautiful piece of halibut that Steve bought. Cajun halibut. So we need some wine to go with it.
Okay. Cajun, spicy, of course. You know what? Again, there's a myriad of things you can do with spicy food and fish as well, especially halibut because it's such a meaty fish.
turn it around
There's
this
a lot
way,
to
look.
it. Oh, that might help. Basically, 3 sort of various wines that you could do. Starting off, Connoisseur Riesling from Chile. Riesling tends to have a little bit more sugar to it, a little more sweetness to it, residual sugar. So it coats your mouth and protects you a little bit from the spice of hot food. And actually, this is under $12 a bottle, which is very good.
I
Next,
guess a Gewürztraminer would do the same.
Gewürztraminer, any of those sort of those French varietals, Alsatian varietals would be great with a spicy food. Casablanca Sauvignon Blanc. Casablanca is the valley in Chile where they grow great Sauvignon Blancs, and this is sort of crisp, acidic, really clean in your palate, cleanses the mouth, which is nice for spicy food as well. And then if you want to run the gamut and try some reds, for spice, things like Shiraz, oddly enough, Zinfandel, big reds. You have to watch alcohol is the only thing. High alcohol content is going to intensify the spice, make it seem a lot more hotter than it is, the dish actually is. But you know what, for people who like red, want to do some spicy food, it's always a nice way to try.
Yeah, Shiraz does have a little bit of a peppery.
It does,
Finish,
and it kind of actually
doesn't it?
works well together.
Yeah. Pete likes red wine, so I think I'm going to go with the Shiraz. They say
right.
some people call it Syrah as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's in France originally it was known as Syrah, and then the Australians took it over and called it Shiraz, basically.
Shiraz, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Shiraz.
Excellent.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Perfect. Have a good day.
Can't get over that call.
I don't know anybody in the pen. I got
should
out
hope
years
not.
ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, as you can see, the beautiful presentation here, our nice Cajun halibut with all our own homemade spices there as well, and
Fantastic.
the beautiful colour gone through the salsa as well, the corn salsa. So.
It is a beautiful color, isn't it?
Tastes as good as it looks, I tell you.
Now, what do you think of the color of this? We've got a nice Shiraz
Oh, very nice.
to go with our halibut.
You guys are doing it all right today.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Pete, did I hear that you were organizing a new road race or something?
Yes, I am. I started the Cape to Cabot race from Cape Square to Cabot Tower a couple of years ago, and this summer we're starting the Bell Island Blast. It's a 10-mile race on Bell Island in August 23rd.
That's probably a first for Bell Island, is it?
I think there used to be a race over there years ago, but not for a long time, and perhaps not 10 miles. But right around the island is just about 10 miles.
So,
It
what
could
do
be
you?
a first for us.
It would be. Yeah. What do you do in the wintertime to kind of keep in shape? Because you can't run in the wintertime.
Yes, we're running all through the winter.
Do you really?
Absolutely. I actually have a pair of sneakers that have sort of like studs.
Oh, go ahead.
Or you can get these screws that you can put up in the soles
right?
if you have an old pair. Yeah,
Well,
it helps out.
as long as you don't get run over.
No,
You know. Anyway, have a taste of Stephen's halibut.
Our halibut. You know, we all had a
Yes.
little go there.
I love
destroyed the presentation
I love
already.
the color.
Oh, Stephen.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Lovely.
Everything I love together
Very
in one
good
place
job.
at the one time. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So flavorful.
I meant to mention this. You do a lot of, what would you call it, straight acting, I guess, because I remember in Above and Beyond you played this priggish Canadian Air Force officer.
Yes.
Did a very good job.
Thank
How
you.
do you like doing that kind of acting?
Oh, I love it. I love the rare chances I really get to do something else. But they're coming more and more. You know, the Film Development Corporation has really brought the industry along,
Yeah.
and there are opportunities now. So every once in a while, I get to do something, and I enjoy it.
Perfect. Listen, thanks for being on the show. Folks, if you want to get Steve's recipe for this beautiful Cajun halibut, and also a recipe which Pete is going to give us for lamb curry without the coconut.
Without the coconut.
Doesn't
You've
like
made it
coconut.
both ways.
I always knew there was something weird about you. Anyway, you can go to the centraldairies.com website and just click on the One Chef One Critic page. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Here we go.
My pleasure.
Ching ching.
Yeah.
For more of Chef Steve Watson's recipes, our recommended wine lists, and guest recipes, log on to centraldairies.com. Have a recipe that you want to share with us? Send it along to onechef.onecritic@rci.rogers.com. Be sure to attach your name, address, and contact number, and you and a guest could be eligible to win a dinner for two at one of our city's finest restaurants. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-9600.
Put a couple of marbles or a jar lid on a double boiler, and when they rattle, you know the water's boiled low.
Or it's going to burn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the smoke alarm goes off. Oh, wow, somebody must have told the chef that I love coconut. Look at all that toasted coconut on top. This, folks, is a cold mango souffle. Amazing. What do you have?
I have a beautiful chocolate buffet here. I have a chocolate icicle. I have a fantastic champagne truffle and a chocolate drizzle as well.
Champagne and chocolate. Oh, that's irresistible. Anyway, I don't think we can afford to shop for champagne right now because we're going to be going to Coleman's to shop with Kathy Mackey. She's going to tell us how to pick up some groceries that aren't going to break the bank, but will be healthy.
Absolutely.
And let's get stuck into this now. Kathy, I'm glad you're with me today because there are so many items in supermarkets these days, it gets kind of overwhelming. You don't know what to choose. But anyway, we've been here in the produce section for a while and we picked out some things. We started out by looking at our Coleman's flyer. That's always a good place to start, isn't it, for specials?
It certainly is, especially when you're shopping for a family and you're trying to make things as least expensive as possible.
So let's just go through some of the things we've bought here. Now, some of these things are in bags, like we've got a 10-pound bag of potatoes here. We've got a bag of apples.
It is certainly a lot cheaper to buy things by the bag than per item, especially the fruits. And this time of the year, apples are mostly on sale, so take advantage of them, use them in many different ways, muffins, fresh fruit, cooked. They're delicious every way. Never forget garlic. For the price, you get tremendous food value and flavor.
So where should we go next?
Perhaps to the meat department.
Meats? Okay, let's check out the meats. I'm a beef eater, Kathy, and I noticed they've got some beef on special today, like this lean ground.
That's right, and that is extra lean, and that is a very good price for that. And ground beef is extremely versatile, so definitely into the basket it goes. Now, prime rib is obviously more expensive, but on sale it would be a treat for a family, so that is great as a Sunday dinner. But if you wanted to, you could buy a nice thick piece and cut it in half for a couple of steaks, which would of course make it cheaper than buying the steaks.
I see some interesting things here packaged up and frozen.
Well, these are turkey legs and or turkey wings or turkey necks, and these are very inexpensive. They make a wonderful soup, and once the meat is cooked, you can turn it into sandwiches, you can put it back into the soup with some other vegetables and make some fresh buns. So this is definitely a highly nutritious, very low fat, good meal to have.
And it's only $1.61.
With the spices, it adds entertainment to your food.
Thanks for giving me your shopping tips today. It's
You're
been
very
great.
welcome.
I've learned a lot, and I hope our audience has. Now let's get this stuff checked out.
Beautiful, eh, Karl? Oh my
Mango's
goodness, the
one of
death
my-
by chocolate.
One of my favorite flavors, mango. We've had a great show.
We certainly
We
have.
learned some really interesting stuff from
Healthy choices
Kathy.
from Coleman's, yes.
Yeah. And Pete was great, as usual. Anyway, we've had a great time. Hope you have, folks. That's it for this edition of
One Chef.
One Critic.
You gotta put the face on. You gotta put the funny face on. Open the eyes. Get the lip. There you go. And then you get all the wind out. And you go. Gentlemen,
Good.
it's called a career.
Right on.
Where are you from? Right on, right on.